Daniel Cormier made an interesting statement. It really stood out to me. He was talking about 185 pounds. He says that Dricus versus Izzy must be preserved, and I quote, at all costs. First off, I love that the Big Bear is so interested in a fight. I mean, this is a guy that gets to see all the fights. He even gets the best seat in the house for them. And this is the fight that he says has to be preserved. Well, let's just think about it a little bit closer. Why not? There's a certain way that we do things in this sport, which means if we don't do them that way, that they're the wrong way to do them. I don't know that I always disagree. I don't know that I always would agree. Let me give you an example. You will have, if you ever have a fight, and you're looking at the outcome of that fight, to go and do something else. Now, for me, that's a treat. I love it when this is going to be, and fill in a number one contenders match. This is going to be the one that draws into the main event of 300, like whatever it might be. I do love that. But it doesn't have to be that way. I mean, if you have the right two guys fighting, then what difference does it make? If you have the right two guys fighting, what difference does it make the outcome of this match if this is the one that you want to see? Let me just give you an example. Israel Adesanya has just lost. Israel Adesanya is wanted for UFC 300. So the belief is that he will take on the winner of Strickland and Du Plessi. It doesn't have to be that way. Adesanya at 300 is going to take on Du Plessi. I can live with that. Now, there'll be a main event and there'll be a title fight if Du Plessis brings the belt with him. But if he doesn't, Du Plessis still meets Adesanya. They will still be coming off a loss to the same guy, which is Sean Strickland. Du Plessis and Izzy's heat doesn't go away. One would be for a belt if Du Plessis brings it, and one will not be for a belt if he doesn't bring it. Are you with me? Can I get a hell yeah? I mean, which one would you rather see? Are you hoping that Strickland beats Du Plessis? Are you hoping that Strickland beats Du Plessis so that Strickland can have part two with Izzy? Or do you want to see Strickland and Du Plessis for what that is and what special event that is? But when that piece of business is done, Du Plessis and Izzy still have unfinished business, with or without a belt. And with or without a belt, coming off a win or coming off a loss, it doesn't harm the integrity of the division. It doesn't harm the integrity of the sport. It doesn't harm the integrity of the call-out, what's personal or what's not. It's not affected in any possible way. If it's the right fight to make, then you make the fight. Now, that's not true every time. I agree. But I'm looking at what Daniel Cormier says, which is Izzy versus Du Plessis must be preserved and must take place at all costs. That we have something very valuable there, that we don't want to waste it. He's right. He's right to a very large extent. That feud between them boys lasted 10 days. And you could argue that that is the hottest feud our sport has ever seen. I'm pausing so that you can attempt to insert something different. In the 10 short-lived days that was that fight, they had the kind of heat that melted airwaves. And Daniel is right. That needs to be preserved. And Daniel's right. Those two do need to fight. And I love the idea of it being at 300, because if you put it at 300 now, you've got one chance that it's going to be 25 minutes, and you have another chance that it's going to be 15 minutes, which is a very different contest. And if that's the fight to make, why would the belt interfere? Why would anything interfere? If that's the fight to make, if I'm understanding Daniel Cormier correctly, then go make the fight.